spend a whole lot of my time and energy listening to people say the same thing that I already know I support and agree with.
Maybe what one student had to say, but thousands in Georgia are preparing to welcome the Democratic presidential candidates to the stage. University of Georgia football player Brian Herrion took to Twitter to send his well wishes to the UGA photographer that he accidentally hit on the sidelines. These stories and more coming up.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening, I'm Tyler Metcalf, and this is Grady Newsource. Police have turned over a report of swastikas being drawn on dorm room doors to the University of Georgia Equal Opportunity Office. According to a police report Grady Newsource received today, UGA police met with a student affected by the incident and confirmed the information today with another involved student. The report says someone had drawn swastikas on the laminated name tags of the door and other doors in the hallway. Because of the offensive symbols were drawn with a dry erase marker and easily removed, the incident will not be considered a criminal trespass. All eyes are on, according to the University of Georgia spokesperson Gregory Trevor, representatives of the Equal Opportunity Office and the Department of University of Georgia Housing met with the affected students. All eyes are on Georgia today as a Democratic presidential debate kicks off tomorrow night at Tyler Perry's studio in Atlanta. Grady Newsource reporter Francisco Guzman will be here, and he joins me now. Francisco, you're one of the credentialed reporters who will be at the debate. What can we expect tomorrow night?
Yes, Tyler. You can expect the candidates to debate some of the key issues of the day. Now it's been more than 27 years since the last Democratic debate took place in Georgia, so we decided to take a look at how much those key issues have changed over the years. And what we found? Not much.
National health insurance. It says to our people that you don't lose your health care if you lose your job.
That was former Nebraska Senator Bob Perry 27 years ago. Today, the America's Health Ranking ranks Georgia as one of the worst in the nation in access to quality health care. Chairwoman of the Athens-Clarke County Democrats, Denise Ricks, saw firsthand what her client went through not having health insurance.
She waited 9 months to take cancer treatments just to get onto Medicare. What in the world?
Healthcare is one of many topics voters expect to hear from candidates tomorrow night, along with poverty, gun rights, and how the trade wars in China are affecting Georgia farmers.
Tariffs are killing the farming industry, absolutely killing the farming industry.
Former chairman of the Oconee County Democratic Party, Daniel Matthews, agrees that candidates should discuss the trade wars that affect farmers in Georgia, but most importantly, he said having the debate in Georgia is well overdue.
It shows how much of an impact that the Democratic Party has in the state of Georgia.
The debate starts at 9 o'clock, and we will have updates tomorrow's show.
Thank you, Francisco. It should be interesting. Let's face it, young adults are not watching TV as much these days. But will that change tomorrow with the debate being in Atlanta? Grady Newsource reporter Alexandra Rios decided to find out, and she joins me now.
Tyler, I spoke to several UGA students today about the debate. Here's what they told me.
I want to know what candidates think about various Medicare, Medicaid policies, various ways of how to protect the environment.
I'm definitely pretty heavy democratically on healthcare just because I've had 3 heart surgeries, so it's kind of like near and dear to me.
I like to see what Yang has to say. I know he's trying to get that universal basic income, but I don't really know what he has to say about college.
The biggest issue that I'm most concerned with is probably healthcare, as well as like the college debt because I'm in college.
Healthcare, student debt, and environmental policies are the main concerns for young adults. I'll be in Tyler Perry's studio tomorrow night for the presidential Democratic debate and will bring you the latest updates.
Alex will join 2 more UGA journalism students and also be there covering the event. Thanks, Alexandria. Today marks day 3 of the United States House of Representatives impeachment hearings against President Donald Trump. Ashley Soriano joins me today to talk more about the hearings and what they mean for Northeast Georgia. Ashley, what does this mean for Northeast Georgia?
Tyler, Charles Bullock, a professor of Southern politics at the University of Georgia, actually predicts that the impeachment inquiry will mobilize Republican voters to the polls in the 2020 election if the president is not removed. If you take a look at this graph, you'll see that President Trump was largely favored by voters in Barrow, Jackson, Madison, and Oconee counties. 80% of Jackson County residents voted for Trump, whereas only 29% of Clark County voters voted for him.
So what do you think could happen next?
Well, the House of Representatives needs a simple majority to impeach the president. Then the Senate votes to remove with a 2/3 majority. I spoke with Georgia's U.S. Senator David Perdue earlier this month, and at that time he told me in an email, quote, "So far we have seen nothing that rises to the level of impeachment." He also went on to state that, quote, "Democrats are using this inquiry to distract from our work and obstruct the president's agenda," end quote.
Fascinating. The impeachment inquiry hearings will continue tomorrow. The United States House of Representatives will call for 3 more witnesses to testify. An Athens Clarke County commissioner wears many hats. Beyond being the commissioner, he has had some pretty interesting jobs before taking on his current role. Grady Newsource reporter Caroline Greger talked to this commissioner and his friends to show us the inside scoop on his life.
First official real job that I got paid for when I was in high school was working as literally a cowboy. I worked on a cattle ranch down in rural Florida.
You may know Tim Denson as a commissioner of Clark County, but he wears far more hats than just being a commissioner. Before his current role, he's had some pretty unusual jobs.
Worked in the ebook, digital book industry whenever that was kind of burgeoning. I worked as a bowling machine mechanic for a vintage bowling machines for a bowling alley here in Athens. I've done bartending.
On top of the wide variety of skills and experiences he's had, he also has a history of being a musician.
Played in all over the U.S. and in Canada. Probably played in at least 38 states, played thousands of shows.
You may think he has a lot on his plate already, but he also works as a labor organizer at organizations such as this one, the United Campus Workers of Georgia.
Athens for Everyone being the biggest one that I helped found. I was the president and organization coordinator of them, but also working with the NAACP, Moral Monday Georgia, Athens Anti-Discrimination Movement.
Denson has met a lot of people along the way while working for different organizations.
I first met Tim in I guess 2011, early 2012 for Occupy Athens.
And I know Tim through community organizing, through Athens for Everyone specifically.
And when he's not busy working or organizing events, he likes playing games with his friends.
Well, we started playing Dungeons and Dragons together, so with a couple of our friends, so that's a thing.
With a little over 3 years left in his term, friends of Commissioner Denson are excited to see what he continues to do for Athens.
I guess I would say I expect to see more good things from him.
I'm Caroline Greger, Grady Newsource.
If you want to learn more about Tim Denson and how he represents his constituents, you can go to the District 5 Town Hall meeting about the Athens Regional Hospital expansion at Normal Bar tomorrow night at 6 p.m. The University of Georgia is expanding efforts to reduce human trafficking and end slavery. The university will receive $15.17 million from the U.S. Department of State. This award goes to the UGA Increase and the UGA-based African Programming and Research Initiative to End Slavery. The initiative will increase the anti-human trafficking work in Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Senegal. The program is also launching a forum to test and develop ways to estimate the prevalence of human trafficking. The forum will start in spring of 2020. Coming up, why so many people in one community call this man in uniform their friend.
Thank you. Did you see anyone drop? Thanks for helping us.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Can we get strawberries? Okay.
A friend to many and a friend to the community. That's what many say about one local police officer. It's to the people of Watkinsville. Grady Newsource reporter Nixon Norman introduces you to Watkinsville Police Sergeant Will Horton.
He's just one of those guys who in the city of Watkinsville. I mean, everybody knows who Will is.
I mean, they call him for the good, they call him for the bad.
Will's a good friend of mine.
The community really is his heart. He wants to give back in whichever way he can.
Sergeant Horton's life of service started with him serving in the Army for 7 years, then working for the Georgia Forestry Commission for 6. He still works for the Watkinsville Police Department and has for 14 years. He's also volunteered at the Oconee County Fire Rescue Station No. 1 for 18. Sergeant Horton has always felt drawn to this life of service.
I think it's a calling. I was predestined to be in something in public safety.
Law enforcement is a passion that Sergeant Horton knew he was going to be a part of from a young age.
I always wanted to know when I was little how everything worked in a patrol car or what all the buttons were in a fire truck.
He also made himself a promise.
I knew if I ever got big enough or strong enough, I would never sit around and settle for watching somebody be mistreated and I couldn't do something about it.
Sergeant Horton not only wants to help protect this community, but he wants to know this community personally.
He takes the time to get to know everyone on a personal level.
And that's because Sergeant Horton believes that
you should always have time for people, no matter how busy you are.
He aims to know the members of the community that he works in on a personal level, and is overall important to the city of Watkinsville because
he's committed his life to public safety through the military, and now with the police department and fire department helping people. That's what he wants to do, is help people all the time.
He's a good man that's involved in his community and always trying to give back in whichever way he can.
He knows everybody. I think that makes him very valuable, and I think that the citizens of Watkinsville feel very fortunate that they can call on a fireman or a police officer, depending on which role they need, and talk to them as a friend.
The more that you go and see these people and the more they're familiar with you as a law enforcement officer or as a member of the community, the better off things are going to come out in the long run when it comes to dealing with those situations.
Honesty, respect, courage, and commitment. Those are the 4 principles in life that I live by.
Nixon Norman, Grady Newsource.
So it may be easy to say that when you think of public service, you may think of Sergeant Horton.
I'm Kat Hendrick, and coming up next, I have updates on Chamberlain Smith, the photographer injured in the Auburn game.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Come
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
In case you were wondering, yes, the UGA athletic photographer injured during Georgia's matchup against Auburn got the shot. Chamberlain Smith was recently released from the hospital after being hit by UGA's football player Brian Harrion. Smith went to Instagram to post the last thing she and her camera saw before she was hit. And if you go to Twitter, you can see that Brian Harrion is sending his love. Georgia had all of Bulldog Nation singing Glory, Glory after securing its spot in the SEC Championship for the third year in a row. The team's 21-14 win over Auburn cinched the SEC East title, but the Dogs still have a few big games standing between them and that red and black confetti. One is purple and gold with a football genius named Joe Brady running the passing game, and that's J-O-E, not J-E-A-U-X. And the other has Jimbo Fisher and a well-traveled 12th man on its side. LSU is expected to meet Georgia in the Dome, but both the Dogs and the Tigers have to play 24th ranked Texas A&M on back-to-back weekends, coming off a 30-6 win against South Carolina, Georgia's only Achilles heel so far this season. Both games will be played on home turf in Athens and Baton Rouge, but that might not mean much for a team that's literally legally trademarked the idea of its fans having such a profound effect on the game. Yeah, that's right, A&M owns the term the 12th man, and for good reason. The NCAA's new ruling on name, image, and likeness has brought with it a ton of nostalgia about a little game called NCAA football. EA Sports' cult classic hasn't had a release since 2013, but the demand for a reboot is stronger than ever. Reporter Carly Roos spoke to both sports fans and a video game expert about why there's still such hype about the game 6 years later.
It kind of started my love for UGA football.
Students in the Tate game room smash buttons, playing games like Madden and NBA 2K, but there might be a chance they could be back playing one of their favorites again.
It was just really fun.
The NCAA's ruling on name, image, and likeness opened the door for EA Sports' hit game NCAA football to make a comeback.
I'm excited, yeah. Yeah, as soon as they ruled that, my first thought was they're going to bring NCAA football back.
6 years after its last release, people still go crazy for the game.
It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter what you are and are not comfortable with in the real world. It allows you to get together, find people of similar interests, and really sort of build that community, build that vibe that is special and you can't find anywhere else.
And video games give people a chance to be the best at the sports they love, regardless of their athletic ability.
After you reach about age 10, you kind of know if you're going to be a UGA dog or not, or if you're just going to be playing flag football with your coworkers when you're 30.
The reason why EA Sports discontinued the game is because of issues with the name, image, and likeness, as the old NCAA rules did not allow college athletes to profit off of their image. But now they will be able to receive compensation.
And I think it'd be awesome if in NCAA football, all of these incredible athletes could start making a buck off of NCAA football at the game.
Carly Reese, Grady Newsource.
EA Sports has not officially announced whether or not NCAA football will make a comeback. Kat Hendrick, Grady Newsource.
I'm Caroline Greger with your weather this evening. And coming up, I'll be talking a little bit about the warmer temperatures that you can expect today and tomorrow.
What to expect when you're expecting
Like here.
a teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
I'm ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait, why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And now, the weather.
I'm Caroline Greger with your weather tonight. As you can see here in Athens, it's going to be 56 at 6 p.m., 49 at 9 p.m., and then dropping down to 46 by midnight. Tomorrow, however, it's going to be a really nice day, 49 at 9 a.m., but by 3 p.m., that high is going to be at 65 degrees, and it's going to be sunny all day, so you might want to head outside. As far as the low temperatures overnight, in most of Georgia, the low is going to be around 40 degrees, 42 here in Athens, 41 in Atlanta, 40 in Gainesville, and then once you head further north around Blairsville, the low is going to be sticking around 38 degrees. As far as the high temperatures tomorrow, it's going to be 65 here in Athens, 63 in Atlanta, 63 in Gainesville, and then once again, further north you go in Georgia around Blairsville, high is going to be 58 tomorrow. Today, the high is 62 with a 0% chance of showers, and tomorrow the high is 65, sunny with 0% chance of showers as well. Really nice day, today and tomorrow. For any of your week plans, as you can see, the high just keeps on getting warmer and warmer throughout the week. 62 is the high today, 65 is the high tomorrow, and then on Thursday and Friday, 67 and 68 degrees. So some of the warmest temperatures that we've been seeing here in a while. And the low temperatures are going to be sticking around the 40s. You can see it's 42 today, 41 tomorrow. But then as we get to Friday, that low is 54 degrees. So pretty high low temperatures. For any of your weekend plans, at 9 p.m. Friday night, it's going to be 57 degrees, mostly cloudy, and there is unfortunately a 54% chance of showers, so that might ruin any of your outdoor plans Friday night. That rain is also carrying into the game on Saturday with a 70% chance of showers at 3 p.m., and it's going to be 62 degrees, so you might want to carry a rain jacket in with you. I'm Caroline Greger, Grady Newsource.
Get to understand people. Because that's the only way we can grow as a society, in my opinion.
Students take part in International Education Week activities. This story when we come back.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Eric Solorzano, and this week is International Education Week, a week when organizations at UGA raises awareness of the many cultures UGA embraces. Take a look at one table booth event that happened today. But for one Arabic instructor, this week is about breaking barriers.
Happens in the Arab world now. There are a lot of misconceptions, misunderstandings, and stereotypes. We're trying to correct those as much as we can.
If you want to learn more about the different international events going on this week, you can visit the UGA International Student Life website.
Don't forget, Grady Newsource reporters will be covering the Democratic debate tomorrow night from Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta. You can watch the debate tomorrow. It starts at 9 p.m. on MSNBC. That's all for tonight. But the news doesn't stop here. Make sure to check out our website at GradyNewsource.com and stay connected with us on social media. Also, don't forget to check out the Grady Newsource app. You go to the App Store, it should be on all platforms. This has been Tyler Metcalf, Grady Newsource.
Grady Newsource. Grady Newsource is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
Hello. Hi. I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you, and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini, and they're the cores that we cut away. Not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that, oh.
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta. A different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Laughing too hard at one of your colleagues' jokes at the office party? He's not even funny. Warning sign, those drinks are probably going to your head. Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Welcome to Grady Newsource Tuesday Night Post Show. If everybody could move a little bit closer to the table, please. Yeah. All right. Okay.
So for the show today, I feel like it looked really good. I feel like some of it was ambitious, but it wasn't overly ambitious. One thing I will say is that during our pre-recording segments, we fell very behind. So just, keep up with the schedule, have your stuff in on time. That being said, with stuff in on time, you guys did great today. There was so much that was in way before deadline, and you guys were down in the studio at 4:30. So I had time to set up shots, and I realized I did make a little bit of a mistake. I put camera 2 instead of camera 1 when I told you specifically it's going to be on camera 1. I apologize for that. But I feel like you rolled with it, so you did great when you were on camera. You switched over to camera 2, no problem. So I'd say overall it was a really good show. It's just, again, with those deadlines during pre-recording, I feel like we're doing really well with our live stuff. It's just that the pre-recording needs to get a little bit tighter.
Sarah, quick question on that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to be really conscious, making certain that I approved Z-Block, that I approved the sports and everything, and I felt like we were in a good groove with that, but that we had some of these other things because we pre-recorded a couple of other segments. Were we just out of sync with our other stuff too, or was it the other segments that got us a little bit sideways? Or was it Cat?
It was mostly sports.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's just
That answers the question.
If we fall behind on one segment early on, then everything gets pushed back unless we can trade stuff out. So it's just like, unless we had B-block stuff approved really early in the day so we could record that instead of sports, and then we could basically just switch from recording sports and B-block, then that would be perfectly fine.
You know what? We actually did, except then we swapped it. But yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and I did notice that we had one editing error on sports, and it was just like we had 2 football stingers. Nobody would notice that. Probably not even you guys noticed that. I noticed it though, and it was just because it's like sports was just pushed back so far. We didn't have enough time to double check stuff is basically it. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's it.
Appreciate it.
Have a good show.
Yeah, so Ashley Soriano was the television producer. Take it away.
Come prepared with notes when you're TV producer, but I didn't do that, so I'll wing it. Kat, go you for pushing through. You very much could have gone home. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Kat Hendrick.
That is not a reason to go home, but okay.
Okay.
Oh, so.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's what I was.
Oh,
that's what I was talking
see.
about.
Oh, okay.
She was sick. Thank you so much, Eric. Last minute, like 30 minutes before the show, I asked you to go record that part. That saved us with time and everything. Francisco, nice job with working on your voice. I think Cantrell even pointed that out. La-di-di-da, winging it. Tyler, nice job. You looked like you kind of controlled, yourself in terms of being anchor. Alex, nice job as always. Yeah.
Are you saying no one can get better? You have.
No, I was getting to that.
Okay.
I actually was getting to that.
Okay.
We should have our audio levels fixed at this point. I was sitting in there. Sarah had to address that, but just me, I'm sitting in the studio and I can barely hear your packages. I know it is lowered a little bit, but y'all need to work on the audio. There are people in here who can help you with that. I really loved Nixon's police officer package. She did that. That shows an example of how you can talk and then lead into the quote. And she, I don't know, good job at that. I don't think I have anything else.
So let me ask you, what will you do differently Thursday?
Yeah, so this is definitely a learning curve for me. We were actually pretty short the whole show, and then it ended up still being about 30 seconds short. I thought I was going to be heavy. I didn't even include Aaron's package, which you still are working on. So I just need to improve with timing. Also time management on my part. The day flew by. I thought it would just be a breeze at being TV producer, but working on time management.
Okay, thank you. All right, Nixon, so you were digital.
Yes,
You've
I
been
was.
digital before, haven't you?
It's honestly become my favorite position. I love.
Are you like negotiating with people? Because like I always see you up there. Because
no, I just got selected.
Okay.
But speaking of digital, we got a lot out, or I got a lot out on social today, and I will especially thank Tasia and Alex for that. Tasia got something published, and Alex, is it pending, or you're perfect. So that's great. Eric, I'm glad me and Carly saw all that, stuff happening in Tate today. With some hard work, I believe you'll get something up Thursday. As for some things I feel like we need to work on, time management is something that I have seen all of us do better at. And I don't think many packages were late today, but I just feel like more preparation on the things that we do is definitely needed. And crap, there was something else. I hope that's not one of the words.
It's not.
I'm trying to think. I can't quite remember. If it comes back to me, I was just thinking about it. Yeah.
About digital. I felt like you were all day, you were in my face going, can you prove this?
Yes.
Can you which is how it should be, which is how I like it, even when I go, but good. But one of the things that, again, we have such a short period of time left, and God forbid I should just say, I'm happy with absolutely everything. I do think I would like to see you all challenge your digital producers more, because the reality is in a lot of the newsrooms you go to, yes, there will be digital teams. But you know what? They're going to be there, and their charge is going to be to help you be better digitally. So think about your work, and most of you are doing this already to some degree, but this, I'm a digital reporter, I'm a TV reporter, there's really no such thing. There's multi-skilled journalists who are able to do everything on every platform. So what I'd like to see you do the next, in these closing weeks, I want you to think about your story, and I want you to ask yourself, even though my title today is TV, I know that any minute I could be this, I could be that, but I have my brand. How do I get my story out on every platform? Where will my story get out best? Who is it likely to appeal to the most? And if it's something that, this information necessary to all audiences, whether they may realize it or not, because you have to give it context. How might I tell this story on Instagram? How might I tell it on Facebook? Can I do a quick video on YouTube? And then what can I do for broadcast, and what can I do in text? So really think about that, because the expectation from you will be, did you get something up on the web? Did you get something this? Do you have breaking this? Especially if you're out covering spot news, expect that you'll have digital team members when you go to work in these other markets going, hey, you just arrived at the scene of XYZ. What do you got? Have you got something? Have you got anything? Well, I'm trying. Yeah, what do you have? I have a picture that I've just arrived at the scene, and here's what the scene looks like. And you know what? That's great. I can see traffic is backed up. Tell us that. That's great. So really think about that. Don't just limit yourself, because that makes you enormously valuable.
I did remember what I was going to say.
Great.
I have two things, actually. I feel like we could really work on our our technical skills when it comes to Premiere Pro. And please, literally ask me any questions. But, if somebody's helping you with Premiere Pro, I expect you to try to remember what they're showing you, what they're teaching you. Because I am more than happy to help. I actually love helping in Premiere Pro. But it's something that I think we could all
it isn't
benefit
hard.
from.
It's just reps,
Yeah,
and
you have to literally do it many times.
Yeah, and if you get away from it for a while, you got to kind of go, oh. But it isn't difficult, especially, there are only literally about 5 things that you have to do. Have to make sure you ingest and import and export correctly. If you don't do that right, then everything else is those weird letters.
Yep. And then the last thing, I think, because we're doing a lot of these things where we're talking to each other on the screen, and I love it because it's very talk show, it's very conversational, but I think we need some kind of briefing before we do that again, because looking at it on the screen where we're not looking at each other, or, it's just like a disconnect kind of going.
That's a great idea. We'll do a little bit of coaching on that Thursday morning.
From looking at cameras, things like that, talking to each other.
Yeah. We can do that. And you don't have no way of knowing this yet, but if you decide that you want to do that, let's just do that, from 9 to 9:10. We can just very quickly go over that. It isn't hard.
Okay.
But it is if you don't know.
I thought we did really well content-wise. I thought we had a wide variety of stories and some really unique things. And I want to thank Caroline for getting the police report for that story. For Thursday, I just want to make sure everyone comes in, and I want everyone to have at least one, either a graphic made or an interview done before you come in Thursday. So like have something done, because it makes my life easier, because if something happens breaking news wise, I can put you on it if you already have things done. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I am very particular, probably annoyingly so, but please, please, please put your pitches in before we come in for the meeting, just because with Content Manager, Digital, and TV, we're planning to put your story in, and if I forget about it, because it's not in the pitch sheet, you're just not going to be in the show. So please do that before we come into the pitch meeting.
Okay. All righty. So we had a couple of stories today, and I'm just going to say it's hard. I know you guys are burnt out and you're tired, but this thing that's going to happen to a lot of you in December is going to be this thing called a what? A job. I know. And you know what? These people are going to want you to show up every day. I know, right? Yeah, every day. You know, then every now and then they'll say, "Hey, I'll throw a vacation." And it's going to be hard. And it's really important to have your kind of your mindset. Think about what makes you excited about this profession and about the honor it is. Because I do kind of feel today, I felt like sometimes I was pushing a bit of a boulder uphill. You know, kind of simple things like, hey, did we call and ask for the police report? Did we? And at this point, what I like is when you guys go, get out of our way, Cantwell, we got to get the police report. Not, hey, have we done this? Hey, have we done that? You know, just beat each story. Really think, because you do know all this. You do know all this, but I think sometimes with a good team, and you all are a good team, we tend to go, I'm over here doing this, somebody else will get that. So at least stand up and ask the question, you know, because you don't want, I promise you, your news directors aren't going to come out and go, did you get the police report? They're going to see the other station has a police report, and they're going to come out and they go, what is wrong with you? What, you know, because that is your job, not your boss's job, okay? You're reporters. So if you're on something, you have to think about it all. Remember, you know, how do I know this? How else do I know this? All right, that's important. Okay, so you guys are far enough along to where you know what you love about what you're doing, and you kind of know what you want to work on and what you want some help with. So, Tara, let's start with you. What can we as a group, those of us that may have some special skills, or even me, what can we do to help you? What do you really want to work on? Really think about that. Think about what you did today, and did you learn anything from that, or do you have any kind of a gee whiz, let me kick myself in the head moment, or?
Right. I think something that I still have a bit of trouble with, generally speaking, is asking for help, because my story didn't get out today, and that's on me. But at the same time, I'm like kind of glad that it didn't go out, because I'm someone who gets very overwhelmed and flustered when it comes to deadlines. And I had like a moment of freak out today where I'm like, this isn't going to work today. I'm not going to have anything for today. But then I'm glad that I'm ending it. I'm going to like go deeper into the story and prioritize telling the story correctly rather than getting it out faster. And I'm glad that Ashley was nice enough to accommodate that.
It was only because she could. Or maybe it was because she was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because I could have gotten something out, but it wouldn't have been as good as it could be.
So I think, too, what Tara's talking about is something that we can all learn from. You know, you guys are young. How many of you have bought, you know, on your first, second, or third house that you purchased, and you're mad about property taxes? Anybody? Nobody. Okay. How many of you, oh my God, paid for your kids' college? Is it just me? Why, yes, it is. The point is that you all have not had as many years on this earth. And there are some things that until you have some years on this earth, I don't care how smart you are, you're just not going to know. And I think today, but I will say being a journalist, one of the beautiful things about this is we get to shortcut years on this earth. And when you have a story where honestly you're not sure of, you don't really fully understand, or you learn something that, I think you learned something today that kind of went, wait a minute, I didn't know that, and it changes everything. Please don't be afraid to ask. And don't be afraid to ask the obvious. And I know you and I have talked that sometimes you feel a little verklempt about that. But the truth of the matter is all of us feel that way. I don't know, you and Smay, and a couple of you guys went to the thing in Atlanta. Do you remember what that medical reporter said? She goes, oh my God, I reverted to my, when I went to work in Emory, I reverted to my 22-year-old reporter self where I was scared I'd look dumb next to this smart Emory doctor, so I just didn't ask the questions. You guys have got enough chutzpah now and enough experience to be fearless about what you don't know. So be fearless on behalf of the people that you serve and know that they don't know either, and all they have is you to help them find out, okay? Make sense? Okay.
I will say one thing that I think was a good learning experience today for me, maybe for other people in the class who are listening, was dealing with the police report and how we were going to put that in the newscast, what we were going to say, what we weren't going to say. I think that was a good opportunity to really kind of have hands-on experience with that and how to deal with that. And something that I have been trying to work on and that I want to improve at is just writing my leads and tags and just all my scripts, actually, to just be so much more conversational, because I still have it in my head where, oh, I have to use big words to make it sound smart and cool, and it's like that doesn't come across great when you're anchoring or when you're talking. So yeah, I think just working on that, getting better at that. Kat's really good at being conversational, so I try to
Have you ever seen
steal
her
stuff from you.
scripts? Kat's
Yeah.
really, it's a really interesting point. Kat's really good at being conversational on camera. But if you look at Kat's scripts, if you were trying to sell them to a literary agency, they would dump them in the trash. But they are absolutely written for the best human connection and purveyance of information. If I could have killed the word purveyance, what I just said would have been awesome, right? But I used one of those big words that Kat would never use. No, so, but take a look at our scripts. You know, sometimes, look, we each have individual mojo that we bring to the table, but one of the things I will say that she will type the way she's going to talk it. And she will sometimes weirdly mumble if you walk past her when she's weirdly mumbling. It's a really good thing because she's talking the script out to herself. It's a really good device. And she feels free to do it, I think. I don't want to put words in your mouth, because it's sports. Because it's sports, and maybe there's some sense of a different type of bonus. I don't know. Talk to us about that.
I feel like I know that it's not going to be a life or death thing, so you can be a little bit more casual with it. You never hear people at sports bars talking about really any words other than, like, you know, touchdown is like 9. So I feel like it's more casual. I think that I would probably be a little bit more timid if I'm talking about something heavier, like especially like a hate crime. But yes, I think that there is definitely the fact that it's like a more fun, relaxed subject helps. But also, like you said, I didn't really realize that I mumble out when I write it, but I definitely do.
Yeah, it's a great thing. I'm not complaining.
And I think that that helps. If you feel awkward or if you feel like you have to perform when you're saying it in your little cubicle, it's not going to come off as natural.
So I think Kat brings up an important point, but I will say this. Sports is a little bit your safe space, right? Some of you have a safe space in entertainment, you know, and some of you, because again, you're young, these other things are, they're big, important, you know, the environment is a big, important issue. But I would say that if we are comfortable with the knowledge that we have, because we've interviewed people and because we've been fearless about asking questions and be willing to say, I don't know what you're talking about, sir, ma'am, please explain it to me like I know nothing, and be willing for them to say, my gosh, I don't have the kind of time to school you, or what they usually say is, of course, blah, 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 blah. And once you have that, then you can be fearless about how you write, because ultimately, I would say it's more important that you all, if you're doing a story that isn't light and happy, it's more important that you communicate effectively, not less so. So good for you for recognizing that, and we can help you with that.
Okay, so what I need to improve on, I feel like camera presence. I'm extremely comfortable with behind the scenes, everything that has to do between editing, talking to people behind the camera, super comfortable.
You are so good with people.
Wait, can I just say that I vetoed her first thing, because your live shot down in the studio today was the best I've ever seen it. You had like the perfect tiny Alex, but like you were still respectful of the story. It was awesome, and us in the newsroom, we were like cheering you on. So, best on-camera presence I think that I've seen from you.
Well, you just destroyed her ambition to get better.
I'm sorry, but it was really good.
But
We
by
were
all
so
means,
proud
keep
of
growing.
you.
But I think it's more about how you feel inside, right? Where your comfort, because when talking about comfort, you know, sometimes we can fake things externally, but on the inside we're like, bah.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
Is that something you really want to work on, you really want to improve on?
for sure.
Okay. So start with, keep working. At the beginning of the semester, you did a lot of creative stand-ups, and then it's like you just stopped. Would you start back again?
Yeah.
Perfect. I think that will help you. And then let's also look, and this is up to you, but because I know your producers will work with you, let's look at more scripting opportunities to have you on camera live in the studio. And that's a matter of how we want to script a story. So let's do that. All right, Tasia.
What were the questions? I forgot.
Just, you know, really there weren't any. No, I'm just curious about, you know, we have such a short time left. You know, what do you want to focus on? How did you feel about what you did today? What would you do differently today?
Today I felt pretty good about my stuff. I got it out pretty early. And that's because I just knew about the topic. Like, it's always happening in Athens, so I'm used to it now. But for me, I really like to do, like, different stuff, like out of the box things, but I can't because my beat is so, there aren't really like creative things that I could do with crime. So yeah, that's what I would like to work on.
Your beat is police. You know, there's another side to police other than crime.
Yeah, but I feel like when we come in and pitch a story, we always say like, why is it important? So I feel like it is important for people to know like the crime aspect of it. So I mean, I don't mind covering it, but as far as like being creative, I'm having a hard time finding how to be creative when I'm talking about somebody just got robbed last week.
So let's you and I have a little sidebar, because I want to see, you've got to explore that gene while you're here. Okay, if you don't do it while you're here, it'll be hard to sell it to the people that hire you. We want you need something to sell, and this is something that's important to you. I have some thoughts. And so let's do this. Let's make it happen, okay? So, you know, you can text me tonight, you can go tomorrow, whatever you want to do. But we're going to do this. Okay. Mr. Metcalf, what did you like and what would you do differently? What did you learn?
I would say, like, when I'm on camera, I watched the pre-recorded segment I did with Ashley. And I look pissed, I look mad the whole time. I look super mad. And my face, I just need to, like, have a better...
face.
Yes, like I need to have like a better sitting face, because I mean, even like I was talking to them today, they were like, yeah, when we first came to this class, I thought you were super mean, but I don't.
Tyler,
I
I get the exact same thing every time people don't know me and they're like, oh, she's a butthead, whatever.
I don't know
but
what that's
I don't
like.
think you looked mad. I just think as anchor, you need to smile a little more.
Yeah. So like I my sitting face, my standard face needs to be more inviting. Resting face, yeah, that's better. That's the word I was looking for. But also I need to like be more diligent in delivering my lines so I don't stutter or flub over my words. And also I didn't realize you guys added the app thing at the end. I thought you said just improvise it, so I didn't really read it. I just said some
What did you do? Just see the words go, no, I refuse? What?
I mean, like, there was a blurb. It was like website, and then it was scrolling. So I didn't see it initially because you wrote the app thing.
Yeah.
But I just had to check out the app, and then I saw you wrote like a paragraph for the app, and I was just like, all right, whatever. I'm telling Metcalf.
All right, whatever. Well, that's why the anchors make the big bucks. They can make those decisions. All right, whatever. I can't be bothered.
Yeah, but I mean, overall though, like, as long as I feel like slow down and maintain my composure, I feel like I won't start tripping over my words. But I want to go the whole show next on Thursday without messing up. That's my goal.
Well, good luck with that. Here's the thing. That's very difficult. No, it is. It's difficult, y'all. Anchoring is a tough job. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
One of the things that I saw with you is I felt you would be really happy when you could get off that desk.
No, he was actually excited.
Well, and I know he was excited and happy, I think, to do it, but then it was like, a script and you would just, if one little thing didn't go quite right, you'd speed through it. Well, then, you know, what happens when we speed read? We tongue trip.
Yeah.
And then that makes us feel bad, so we speed more because now we just want to ostrich and escape. So I would just say a couple of things. Number one, deep breaths. Number two, you know, I didn't think you had resting bad face. In fact, I was concerned that you were attached smiley with swastikas, and that is not appropriate. One of the things as an anchor you can do is always make sure, remember when I told you to do CU, C1? Always mark your scripts with the camera that you're going to be on. And we've marked the cameras C1, C2, C3. We know that. So that way you're not looking at the wrong camera. It's okay to look at your script. And when I ask you to mark your script, Cheryl goes, C1. No, you've got C1, CU. Camera 1, close up. C2, 2 shot. Oh, I need to change, look at this. So be mindful of that, mark every script. The other thing is some people use emoji on their script, so that then when they look down, they don't accidentally come, they just read something smiley, they don't accidentally do smiley with a man is in custody after murdering 5 people. So that can be helpful. But understand as an anchor, sometimes we're going to be throwing things at you at the last minute, and you kind of have to read. That'll be your job. No, I'm not reading it. But I think I think you were good, and I think you do just need to slow down, and I do think you need to be a little bit more intentional. And I think something that might help you, Tyler, and I would advise you all to do this, is if you, and this could actually be a fun mobile something to put out or something to put up on Instagram, but if I were an anchor, and when I did do some anchoring, I would walk around every reporter, tell me what your story's about. What's the most important thing about your story? And I did that because I was always terrified I was going to lose prompter, and then I would just be sitting there going, I have no idea why I'm here. And that way you know a little something. And I've worked with anchors that would do that. And if there's something happens to the prompter, it doesn't matter. But it makes you a lot more confident. So I would just give that advice to all of you. All right, Mr. Guzman, let's go with you. Mr. Smay, we're going to have your work on Thursday, right? Okay. No, you're good. You. So a little bit of prompter stare again today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to work on that.
So we'll help you with that. Thursday morning, we'll do that 10 minutes. What's wrong with y'all?
It's just when we're done. What do you want to work on? I need to work on that.
Rude. Mr. Guzman. So what did you like about what you did today? Because I think there were some good things that you saw. I saw some real improvement, and I was pretty happy about it.
I need to work on the
No, there was some real improvement. What did you like? What did you do well? You don't have to always beat yourself up. I'll do that later. I mean, you can do that later. What did you like?
just shot good.
Did anybody like anything that Mr. Guzman did?
He had the best voice inflection that he's had in his package all year. All
Yes.
year long.
Yep.
It was great.
Thank you.
Also, your graphics, I loved your graphic. Like, your graphic looked straight.
Thank you.
Yes, with the animation. Yes. Okay, now beat yourself up. We're ready for it. Please, do you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just the prompters there.
Okay. So how do you think you might work on that?
That's a good question.
So one thing might be to mark your script so that you feel really confident about the camera. Okay? And to don't be afraid of the co-anchor. Have a natural conversation. And if you don't feel you can have a natural conversation that includes your co-anchor or includes the audience, then you say, Cantrell, I know you approved this, but I think this is horrible and I don't want to say it. I'm writing my own. And I'll go, oh, okay. But let me prove it. Okay? So you do that. Because I think if you're not comfortable with what's coming out of your mouth, then you cannot be a natural communicator. I know this information is important to you. I know how hard you work to get it. And we need to make that last connection step because it is the most important. But kudos to the good work that you did today and the improvement that you made.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Mr. Never, okay. Miss Sarah.
That is our post show for Tuesday night. Everybody have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. This is the last sprint.